if people knew the truth about abortion, would there be support for it? Would it even be an issue if they weren't being lied to about the practice of or the funding of, in this case? I bring you Rachel Maddow. She's on a network called MSNBC, which is a cable offshoot of NBC. I say that because obviously not a lot of people are watching. And she talked about a particular law, Michigan, that would prevent people from having to pay for abortion to their insurance company, that they could segregate that out. And if people wanted it, they could, but it would be that choice rather than not giving that choice and having dollars go to something that so many of us understand is the killing of a child, God's creation. Here's how Rachel Maddow characterized the bill. Roll it.
Michigan Republicans in December passed an anti-abortion bill that opponents call the rape insurance bill. It's now law. It goes into effect tomorrow. It will now be illegal for your private health insurance in Michigan to cover your abortion unless you thought ahead and bought special coverage just for that. I continue to maintain that over the last few years, Michigan's state government has become way more insane than anyone nationally gives them credit for.
Yeah, it's insane to segregate that out so that people don't have to pay for something that they understand to be a killing of a baby that they morally object to. It's just insane there. I mean, the rape insurance, wow. But that's the characterization. Now, look, entitled to her opinion, absolutely. I've been told how bright she is. She is obviously very, very bright. I say that because every time she's introduced, she's the smartest woman ever. Okay. Not saying that she's not. I pray that she can understand that life is a life is a life. And she's entitled to her opinion, as passionate as she is to get that voice out. I'm not trying to silence her by any means. Different opinions on things. That's what we have, right? Faulty characterization? Yes. We just exposed it? Yes. Rachel Maddow, opinion show? Okay, that's fine. Her opinion. When it comes to the mainstream media and reporting on Obamacare numbers, CBS News did its best to spread propaganda, in essence, the Obama administration's propaganda concerning the numbers of enrollment into Obamacare. As of yesterday, 5 million people are now enrolled. Really, let's break down that enrollment when we have, in some states, 50% of those not paying for, haven't made their payment. It's in the shopping cart. They count it. There it is. There's also the point of the goal was 7 million, now 6 million, but they won't report that. But they are reporting this as a success. And this is why we're in the trouble we're in. People are not giving you the rest of the story when it comes to Obamacare, which seems a little boring, right? It's not boring when we're exposing something, and some people are hearing this for the first time. The mainstream media is not telling you the truth. And they are pushing forward with an agenda and a law, if you want to call it that, after the 20-some-odd adjustments that financially does not work. 2 plus 2 does not equal 5. We can't get there. By the way, their funding mechanism, 25%, they need 40% of young invincibles, so to speak, to get in there. People citing the reason they don't want to pay for this or sign up. And incidentally, the people that signed up who did not have insurance before were dealing with less than a fifth of them signups. Yeah, so you're just getting people who had insurance to re-enroll insurance they don't want. Oftentimes, that's more costly. But I digress. Here is CBS News describing what I just detailed. Thank you, by the way, to newsbusters.org. Roll it.
This morning, the White House is closer to a crucial goal ahead of a key deadline for the health care law. As of yesterday, 5 million people are now enrolled for either state or federal insurance. The administration's goal is 6 million. The open enrollment deadline is March 31st. The White House continues trying to reach young Americans. It just unveiled March Madness-style brackets called the 16 Sweetest Reasons to Get Covered. Last week, President Obama appeared in an online video with comedian Zach Galifianakis.
Really? Yeah, and that got 100 times more coverage on CBS, this is according to Kyle Drennan, great reporter over at newsbusters.org, CBS, NBC, and ABC, than the actual Obamacare numbers. So what about that 7 million? No, they said 6 million, right? They changed that, but it was 7 million. That was the goal, not 6 million. Remember? Roll it.
You said when asked regarding Obamacare what success would look like. Your answer, and I quote, was, I think success looks like at least 7 million people signed up by the end of March 2014. Open enrollment ends this month, and you're well short of that target. Based on your own standards, Obamacare will not be successful at the end of March 2014. What do you now call success?
Well, Congressman, I think that in answer to your initial question, I don't know the constituents you're speaking to, but I can give you a national snapshot where private insurance rates in the 10 years before Obamacare were running at 8.6%.
Can I get you to answer that question on what is now success? Because I only have 3 minutes.
Well, success looks like millions of people with affordable health coverage, which we will have by the end of March in the private marketplace, in Medicaid, young adults on their family plan. So we will have, I think, a successful program. We have a market. We have competition. We have, for the first time, self-employed individuals who don't have affordable care through their work site getting affordable coverage.
So you're changing your standard of 7 million by the end of March 31st?
I said success looks like millions of people having affordable health care.
You said 7 million.
Oh, let's go do the videotape. Roll it.
What does success look like?
Well, I think success looks like at least 7 million people having signed up by the end of March 2014.
Now, look, I just, to be clear on this, you just heard me talk about Rachel Maddow characterization of a law and mischaracterizing it. That's an opinion show. Granted. News, but opinion. Then you heard the news distorting the number and lying by omission about the 7 million. And then you just heard Kathleen Sebelius lie to the congressman last week about what she said. What got more than 100 times the coverage? Was covered more than 100 times? The Obama enrollment numbers were trumped by Obama's appearance on the comedy Truth or Die, or excuse me, the interview. So, yeah, with the comedian. I think it's Truth or Die, but I'm not sure. Or Funny or Die. Apologize. I know I sound like a really hip guy, but I just, I have an overbite and I have one move. All right, some of you got that. I don't know, maybe. Here we go. On the flip side, we've got Ryan Morrow. Ryan Morrow, Clarion Project National Security Analyst. Where did the flight go? He has some ideas. More news on the Malaysian Flight 370, Ukraine, Putin v. Obama, and truth. AFR talk.